Hey guys, what's up? It's Drunken Phoenix here. Welcome back to my channel. So I want to go ahead and discuss this character usage data for Tekken 8, and this particular chart was released a few days ago, and this is significant because it includes Eddy Gordo, who is at the #1 spot, which is actually very surprising to me. I was not expecting Eddy to be this high in the usage data. I'm going to explain why in a minute, but Eddy Gordo is released or available on April 5th, and this data is as of April 9th, so like 4 days after Eddy's, availability in the game for everyone. And I'm going to read the blurb on the side. It's from Twitter user Aliet Faye. It says, character popularity infographics for Tekken 8. This is not data that I collected, but rather information gathered and published by Reddit user, not quite factual, extrapolated from a sample size of 165,000 plus players and only their highest ranked characters. So 165,000 plus, that's a pretty big sample size. So I think this data could give us a really good gauge on the actual usage in rank. It may not be 100% accurate, but I think it should be somewhat telling. And just from looking at where a lot of characters stand, I mean, everybody is Panda still last, so it's definitely somewhat quite close to what the accurate number would be for ranked. Panda still last, King is still pretty high, Jin is still pretty high, Paul is still like in the middle. So I think it can give us a really good gauge of the actual usage. But anyway, so I want to go into Eddy Gordo. Why is this surprising to me that he's #1? Well, first of all, he has a lot of competition. I mean, there's like a lot of popular characters in this game right now. Or, I guess inevitably there's always going to be people in the top 10. But I think they really upped their game up in this. Like a lot of the new characters like Reina, Victor, and Azucena, they have been quite a success, especially Reina. King has always been consistently popular. Jin, Hurong have been popular. So for Eddy to beat the competition and be the #1 spot, that's quite significant. Like, I'm not surprised that he's higher than average, but for him to be #1, especially, and also because historically Eddy has, although he's a popular recognizable character, he was always known for having kind of a lower usage. Like, he wasn't really, like, he's usually like around where Xiao Yu would be, like kind of in the bottom 10 or just outside the bottom 10. So for him to claim the #1 spot, that's significant. Another reason why I'm surprised is because the paywall. I think it's fair to assume that when you have a paywall, that kind of acts as a filter for that character usage. Like, it's not, of course, everybody is not going to buy the character for whatever reason. Some people may not want to spend money on it. They may be trying to budget. They may not be interested in playing him. Some characters, some players may, they just may not care to buy him. So, or maybe they don't want to spend their money on it, or maybe they may want to buy him at a later date, but not at first. So, basically, whenever you have a paywall, you can expect that to usually act as a filter. So for him to still be #1 despite the paywall, that's pretty significant to me as well. And the other reason why this is significant to me is because this is only taking the data for the players in their top, their highest ranked character. So this isn't even considering everybody that played Eddy Gordo just for fun or just tried him out like I did. But this means that, like, out of all these players that were sampled, Eddy Gordo was the most common highest ranked character. And that's also significant because if you get Eddy Gordo, he starts at beginner. So it means that not only people were playing him a lot and choosing him a lot, but they were staying pretty consistent with him and really like learning about him and really like, sticking with him for quite a bit. So I find that surprising. So yeah, congrats to Eddy. I'm glad to see him high up in the list. I think his, was a shame that he was on the base roster, and it's really good to see that he's getting the credit and the good reception that he deserves. I want to kind of discuss how I feel about Eddy right now. So he's a character I'm currently thinking about making a secondary main. I'm not too sure if it's going to happen or not. I tried dabbling a little bit with him in the quick match, and he is it's like, how would I describe him? He's definitely very different. I'm still trying to figure out a lot of the changes from his, like, he's definitely changed a lot from Tekken 7, but I'm still trying to figure out what type of character is he. Like, it seems like he is I don't know. He's been a lot more streamlined, and I know him mostly for being like a good mix of heavy and keep out character. And it seems like his keep out, it still seems pretty good for the most part, I think. But I'm still trying to dabble into the character. I'm not a huge fan of the automatic transitions into relaxed stance. By the way, that is kind of, it seems like it's kind of giving me the same feeling I have when I play her wrong, because I do not like playing as her wrong. I just for multiple reasons, but one of the reasons being whenever I'm playing with her wrong, it's like anytime I do a move or something, it's like it automatically puts me in some type of stance, and I just feel like I always end up feeling like I'm just pressing a lot of buttons and going into different stances and not knowing what I'm doing and just end up mashing. And with her wrong, I'm usually still quite effective with just mashing, and I don't like that. It makes me feel like I'm not in control, which is why the stance based characters I really prefer are Xiao Yu and Lei Wulong, because although they're stance based, their stances are more so built. It's built in a couple of their moves, but you have a lot more control. Like, it's not built in every like single like Punisher, or like, you know what I'm saying, like that. You have more control. A lot of time with Xiao Yu and Lei, you will be getting into the stances manually, or they may, and even if they're not even those stances, even the moves that gets you into the stance automatically, it's not. I don't know. You guys get what I'm trying to say. It's not overwhelming like Eddy and Horong. So I'm not crazy about how like even just like his 10 frame Punisher 1-3, it automatically puts you into that stance, a negative stance. His 12 frame Punisher 2-3 also puts you into that stance. I think it puts you into headstand stance, one of the stances. But I'm not a fan of that, because when you go into stance, a lot of times that puts you at risk of being, knocked out of it, or being punished or launched or whatever, So, and it forces you to have to do a 50-50. You know what I'm saying? And Eddy seems quite unsafe in this game right now. So I'm still trying to figure him out. I mean, I haven't given him, I don't think I gave him a fair chance yet. I'm going to continue to play him a little bit more and see if I'm feeling him like that or not. But yeah, he's going to take a lot of getting used to it. It feels like a lot of he's definitely very different from Tekken 7. Still fun. I'm not going to say he's not fun. Like, I feel, I don't feel like, I would definitely recommend everyone try him out, because he is unique. He has a lot to offer. It's just I have to see if he's for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I've been trying to do with all these characters, by the way. But yeah, so it's great to see Eddy back on the game period, and it's good to see that he's number 1. Just looking at a few other spots, I'm so upset that Xiao Yu still seems to be getting lower and lower. She seems to be at, I counted before, she's at number 24 right now, which not too much different from where she was before. I was hoping Xiao Yu could get a little bit more popular in the usage, but I don't know. You guys are not feeling the Xiao Yu like that, apparently. Any other surprises? So I'm kind of surprised to see that Victor and Azucena have dropped significantly. I mean, they dropped outside of the top 10, when all before they were like consistently in the top 5. So it's that's really interesting, actually. Reina is still maintaining her spot pretty well. She's still she's not number 1 no more, but she's still in the top 4. So I think she always hovered around that, like top 3, top 4. So she's still consistently popular, and I think that they did a really good job. And I think her role in the story, it really making her like a main character, as well as her having, really interesting, cool moveset that's not just brain dead like Victor's. Along with her design and everything and her voice acting, I think that's really helping her, and I think she is one of the better newcomers in a long time. Yeah, I think Reina might be my favorite newcomer, actually. It used to be Azucena, but I've been really turned off lately by Azucena. But yeah, her wrong is still killing that in the top 5. Dragunov, I'm starting to notice it's going down, and something I've been wondering about Dragunov is, do you guys really like Dragunov? Because I've tried picking this character up and playing him consistently and trying to make him a possible secondary, but I just do not. I just can't. I don't know, man. I just can't get motivated to stick with him. I'm just not in love with the character. I mean, I think he has a really cool fighting style, but it's just the character. It's like just so ugly and like look so cold and just so dry. I mean, I guess that's what they were going for. So good job with that. But it's just not. It's just not me. I just don't like the design. Like I said, I don't think it's not that I don't like the design. It's just not for me, and I can't really get motivated. Law's coming up a little bit. So Law is at number 8. So he's back in the top 10. Lily's still, repping for the OG girls. Like she's, besides Raina, she's the only other girl in the top 10. And Brian finishes right at the top 10. It's good to see that Yoshi is still, consistently popular at number 12. June, I was not expecting to see her this low. She's decreased quite a bit. She's at 1, 2, 3, 4, at number 15. So it seems, I really think over time, June's popularity is going to decline. I think that because people are turned off by a lot of the overpowered characters, with the exception of King. But we see Azucena's dropping, June's dropping. I don't know. I think also just the hype with her is going down a bit. And I'm saying this as someone that likes June. I like her as a character. Her gameplay, I like for the most part. It's not my favorite. I'll talk more about that. I'm going to do a character fun tier list very soon once I get, once I practice these other characters a little bit more to get a better gauge of them. But yeah, Paul, poor Paul. I think that new hairstyle really did him a big injustice. Like he is just not popular anymore. He's still like, is he still in the top half? Is he? Let me see. If June is number 15, Paul is number 16. 16 times 2 is 32. Okay, so Paul is like right at the cutoff at the halfway mark. Number 16 out of 33 characters. But yeah, everybody else is still pretty much the same. Panda's still low. Shaheen and Zafino are still low. No surprises there. They shouldn't be in the game. Leroy, I am... You guys are not feeling Leroy no more. What is up with that? I'm surprised that he is that low. I'm not gonna lie. I would have thought Leroy would have... I was never expecting Leroy to be in the bottom 10. I can't necessarily put my finger on why he's in the bottom 10. If I had to guess, I think he has left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouth still from when he was first released in Tekken 7. I personally think his gameplay is quite boring and dull. And yeah, and I know a lot of people are complaining, saying that he's very weak in this game, so that might play a role too. Possibly, I don't know. But yeah, that's such surprising to me because he has such a cool design, and we thought people liked him, and they pushed him so hard in the story. Like he's in multiple endings, and you could tell they really were trying to push him, but for some reason, you guys don't like him like that. Let me see. Xiao, talk about Xiao Yu, Nina. Yeah, everybody else looks to be around the same spot they were before, or around that ballpark. But yeah, so I wonder, what do you guys think Julia Chang would have been if she was on this tier list? If Julia was on this tier list, or not tier list, on this chart, this rank chart, I think Julia might be, I'm gonna take a wild guess. Julia probably would have been like where? I would say she would be around somewhere between June and Oscar. I don't know. I just miss Julia, you guys. But yeah, but that's all I have to say right now for this video. I'm glad to see Eddy at the top. I think he is, of course, he's going to decline over time. He's not. I don't see him being number 1 spot forever. I think the DLC hype definitely got him up there. But I think it's possible. I really like his design. I really do like his design, and they have streamlined his gameplay a lot for beginners. So he might not be a low usage character for the lifespan of Tekken 8 as he was in Tekken 7. He might actually have consistently high or higher usage. I can see him, like, as far as like his average spot he'll be once things kind of settle down, I can see him being maybe around I guess kind of what I said before with Julie. I can kind of see him being maybe somewhere between June. I can see him being somewhere between June and Xiao Yu. I can see him being there, which I think is not too bad for him. Like, I don't know if he'll be in the top 10 consistently, like after the hype dies down, but I could see him being like, I could see him being in the upper half. I think it's possible because they've done it with Yoshi. Like, Yoshimitsu is like the most improved out of everybody in this like game, like as far as usage goes. But yeah, I could see Eddy being maybe just outside the top 10, but but still in the top half, so within the top 16, 17 characters in the game. But yeah, but those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video.